Hey, but when we do this, whenever it gets right. What we do. I'll give you.
You'll have maps on the screen.
Did everybody that wants to speak sign in the back? Sign in sheet.
I do.
Would you like to? Yes. The sign in sheet in the back. Anybody who wants to speak? Right, where's Faye?
You're looking at little amazing notes and James.
Better her than me.
The meeting says recording and transcription.
Gonna go Friday.
Say again.
Friday with a fundraiser Friday. I'll tell you about it later.
And then now cool beans. Hooked up to it. It doesn't.
Here's a thing.
I think we move that.
Sorry.
No, I'm just.
You want to sit right here?
No.
You got up just like.
I can talk about that.
Oh.
Jim, I have a caveat. I haven't told me that. Y'all can decide. Y'all can, I don't care. Y'all can decide. Y'all think it's fair. Since they do skin Scott.
Mom.
I did not. So he does what anyway.
Let me know what.
Preliminary, might do extensions too.
Okay.
They get one extension, give them 60 days, and that's it.
I'll be all right.
That we set for extension. And then it's the process, but if he's doing the preliminary. I don't know if y'all object and say that he can do the preliminary extension. It's preliminary extension, it's not any.
No, I don't have. I know.
Did we sign the rest of that stuff? Yeah, either have to own some. But the whole thing's. I want to extend. Notice is hereby given at the regular meeting of the Galveston County Consolidated Drainage District, November 12th, 2024, at 6 p.m. The district's office located at 1605 Whitaker Drive, Friendswood, Texas. I'll call the meeting to order. I'm going to have our district engineer, Scott Sheridan, give the invocation and lead us in the pledge.
In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our God, we come to you tonight, just want to thank you for our health and for this, everything, this amazing place. The Drainage District does such great work. We're grateful to be here to work for you. We just pray that we keep your will, in our decision making. Pray that your love shines through our actions. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor
Honor Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the Texas. One state. Under God. One indivisible. Gosh, that.
I got stuff on that one all the time.
Sky.
God did.
Citizens' comments. We'll have 5 minutes per person. Russell, Lindsay, please come up to the podium. State your address, please.
Yeah, I'm at 100 West Medical Center Boulevard, Webster, Texas.
Okay.
I've got a couple of handouts and I'm sure you
Yes, sir.
can hear the buttons. Actually, that's a circle.
You have a copy of this?
I have one, well, I have smaller versions. So I just need you to. Y'all ready?
Sure.
Okay. Awesome. So, thank you for letting me be here to speak with you about this. I'm really kind of a novice at this, to be honest with you, and I kind of ran into the situation and was addressing it with the district to be familiar, see if there's not something that was. So what I'm looking at is a tract of land. It's 5.7 acres, just right down 528 from here. It's a unique piece of property. If you look at the photograph or the map that I've shown you, the property is actually divided by Dickinson Bayou. Okay? And preliminarily, I had a conversation or two with Scott a month or so ago, and we were trying to. I was trying to get a good handle on if a easement would be required, and if so, how much. I recently had a similar experience in Galveston District Number 2, and they asked for a 20-foot easement. And then so I thought, okay, great. I'm sure Galveston Consolidated will want something similar. Well, then lo and behold, I want a lot. And so the pink area, if you would please focus on the pink area for me, because that shows the ditch running through the property. And then I just went 200 feet on either side to show what, the criteria manual would take. And so, the tract of land is right at 250,000 square feet. Less the shaded area, that shaded area is about 145,000 square feet. So what's left is right at 100,000 square foot of actual developable property. So, obviously the 200 feet is your criteria manual specifications. I guess my question to the board is, I think this land is unique. It's got some challenges because of the ditch running through it and the 200-foot that y'all would want to take. So my goal is to present this to you guys and see it in some format. We can circle back and talk about it and just, maybe I would be willing, actually, I would be willing, the seller was gonna be here tonight. She may have joined, I don't know, but I'm the potential developer buyer of the property. But with that being said, if y'all have any interest in taking the entire northern tract of land, it's about a half of an acre piece, little triangle piece, that's about a half an acre. I would be gladly, grant that over to y'all. But I want a dialogue, and that's it. So that's my request of the board. But, also, I want us to all be aware of the consequences of the design criteria manual. That document may have been drafted many, many, many years ago, and this type of property was never considered. But if it stands, okay, the owner of the property, it's been on the market for years, but I mean, if this design criteria manual stands, she's basically going to be sold undesirable piece of land. And then obviously to me, the negative impact is, I certainly won't proceed with any kind of development on the land. And then lastly, that the long-term consequences of that are, the tax base. If I could go out there and do what it is I want to do, I could develop a $3-4 million piece of property and pay a pretty good tax to the county. So again, we ask that you take this into consideration and see if we can't somehow have some dialogue and discussion about if there's a compromise we can make.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So how do we go about doing that?
Probably get a hold of us here down the road if there's Scott or Joseph. Yes, sir.
Circle back.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
They're not allowed to respond to you during public comment.
I'm,
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay.
you're welcome.
Thank
Sir.
you.
Can I get the big set back?
Yes, sir.
We only have one, but
Absolutely.
or you need more, Joe?
Leave it with Scott. If you will. I'll get it. Thank you.
Russell, if you could just email it to me, that'd be best.
Let's have it in.
Okay.
If not, one, I can give you one. I can't email.
Sure. If you got more than one, I'll take that.
Clay Hunley.
Yes, I'm actually I had an A, it's here, pay attorney question.
Peggy's not here. Don Johnson.
Thank you very much. The other side of Houston, I wasn't sure if you barely got in under the limit. I think it was the last time I talked, I spoke a little bit about the infamous floods, what the engineers call an embankment at the 10th Street on the golf course. And since that time, some rumors kind of percolated around. Oh, well, we're to move that embankment, cost a lot of money because we have to come in and do a lot of concrete work and be very expensive and change the dynamics of the creek. Thanks to Samantha and a copy of the engineering report, the old board decided to spend $50,000. We get an engineering study, and it doesn't create flooding issues. It said under a 10-year flood, which would be a flood within the banks of Clear Creek, it might raise the water level 1 inch. But for a 50-year or 100-year flood, there would be no difference in the amount of water that flowed through there. And it doesn't say anything about concrete work in the study being necessary. In fact, it says where erosion may be a problem, it would be with the embankment being there. Erosion may be a problem. If the embankments are gone, then that problem would go. So I just don't want to, I wanted to come up and just kind of directly address those rumors because they seem to be baseless and they don't correspond to anything that was in the engineering study. And if anybody wants a copy of the engineering study, you can share with what Samantha shared with me and let you all have it. And in the few seconds I've got remaining, I wanted to mention, which you probably know, that Harris County Flood Control District ballot referendum passed. Which, in a strange way, it's good news for us. They were out of money. There was no other projects they were gonna be able to do or talk about. And now that that's passed, that sort of opens the door again to discussions with them on other projects, which might benefit them and Galveston County Consolidated Drainage District. So, I was very glad to hear that. I think y'all probably already know that, but. And, I guess finally, I've been kind of bugging Kathy, to see if I could get copies of some of those pictures you got, Jim, that you presented at some of the meetings. Those should be publicly available. Maybe put them out on your website so people can see what's going on down there. It's kind of hard to see from Dixie Bar Road all the way over what's going on.
I think there's one in the blog.
Do what?
I think there is a picture of that in the blog.
In the blog?
Yeah, in our website blog.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure I know where that is, but I'll catch you after the meeting.
You go to the website.
And take it up here.
We'll square it away.
Anyway, I want to thank you all very much. Y'all have a good day.
We put all those up on there, you know, videos, if you have more, it's been wet lately.
Sure.
Okay. Discussion action items. A, approve or deny the variance request for Castle Biosciences, name road 5 FM 528, 23 acre development. Request for improvements within the maintenance berms and the detention facility. Do I have a motion to discuss?
Motion.
Second.
Go ahead, anybody? You want, Scott, why don't you weigh in first and then we can have discussion on this.
Currently, the district's criteria manual just specifically states that there should be no improvements within a maintenance firm, whether it's private or a district maintained facility. And it includes landscaping, trails, anything like that, trees, obviously landscaping, but there's not an issue if the district does have to come in later on and maintain it.
Explain the berm versus the depth of the, and the requirements.
So if you, from 5 to 10 feet in depth, we need a maintenance firm, we require a maintenance firm of 20 foot width, and that has to do with the size of the equipment that has to be on there. Anything over 10 foot, the berm width goes up to 30, so 30 foot. Anything deeper than 10 foot pond wise, the maintenance firm goes up to 30 foot width. So
How deep is this pond gonna be?
I think it's right at 10 feet, maybe a little bit
I
less.
think it's 16 feet at the lowest point.
So 30 foot berm. Sorry, we approved the plans.
I think it was somewhere around, I thought it was 14.9 or 15. Was that something like that? It was 16, you said?
I'm going off recollection, but yeah, I mean, we're 14, 15.
I thought it was 14. Now, I don't know why it stuck in my head. Joseph, equipment wise. So explain, tell the board what type of equipment you have on those berms where we maintain those ponds.
Is that gonna be a wet pond?
No, sir.
No. So generally we take in a tractor with 15-foot mower to mow this, mow the berms and the detention pond itself.
This is where we would do it.
Yes, if we had to do it, yes.
Offhand, can you think of an instance where we had to take over something that wasn't initially our responsibility, kind of challenges?
Just recently, we had to do the private pond behind the Kroger that we couldn't ever find the owner on, but it was totally silted in and grown up.
It's the only one that, since I've been here, that we've had to do anything with.
I mean, I like the reforestation concept. But I mean, obviously there's a reason the access berms. I understand all of that.
Any questions from the board? Jim, you or David?
Are they planning on maintaining,
It's private.
this private detention?
It's the criteria manual is pretty clear about our requirements. I'm trying to think. I don't remember us granting a variance for that type of application.
Not with this many trees.
I can't recollect one, even before I was on the board watching y'all, I can't recollect one, to be honest with you.
May I speak to the request a little in detail?
Quickly.
Okay, so this is a 23-acre site. It was heavily wooded previously. There's a large tree mitigation requirement, and after master planning and planning for development for Castle Biosciences, we're left with a large excess of trees needed to be mitigated. Castle Biosciences was drawn to the site for the wooded appeal of it, and there's a strong desire to return that through the landscaping of the rest of the development. So the request to plant trees around the pond, it solves a couple of issues for us. One, gives us additional land area to plant trees, and then also restores the wooded appeal to the area. The maintenance path on this plan, and this is a concept, should this concept be approved to move forward, we develop landscape drawings for approval. But we do intend to maintain a 15-foot maintenance berm around the perimeter. We want to plant trees outside of that and on the sides of the sides of the pond itself. If maintenance is the issue in question, I think, again, it's a 28-acre site that's going to have landscape maintenance on it regardless. So if maintenance of the pond is the deciding factor, I think it's up to my client, but we could probably take on the maintenance of that. Really, we're just asking to be able to plant trees and shrubs in the area to restore it to more of the natural environment that was there previously.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the bullet for this one for the board. I just, like I was telling Jim, I don't remember watching them for the previous year. I know they had some concerns. I don't remember a variance like this being requested. There's reasons that the predecessors made the rules like this. They've run into some issues. I know they've taken over a pond here or there, but there's reasons for overflow and having that clear. The board doesn't like to grant variances. We would rather probably change the criteria manual if we heard enough reasoning to be consistent, because we should be consistent with the request.
Understood.
There's been tree mitigation issues come up before us in the past. It's not the first time. We are sensitive, as Jason said, about being environmentally sound and forestation. There's no doubt. But I think y'all, I mean, once again, I'm not trying to be harsh, but I think y'all were probably aware of the mitigation requirements before, and the criteria manual's been written for a while.
Understood.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm just trying to be fair about it. So we don't have a history of granting these variances, and I don't know if we would grant this one. It would be up to the board vote, but maybe you should, if you're not in a hurry, maybe you should explore other alternatives with the board or with Scott. But
understood. And our position is the manual states no improvements without prior written consent. So this is our attempt at requesting for approval. And if the answer is no, you know, yes, make that request. So we understand the process. Yes,
I mean, my biggest concern is the maintenance of all those trees, because we saw for 7 years after Harvey that people weren't taking care of their landscaping, and we saw what happened with all the trees when Beryl came through, and knocking down power lines and all that sort of thing. So, I mean, and it was a big mess, and it was going into the creeks, and you know, that's a concern for me.
I'll make a motion.
Sure.
Motion to deny the variance request.
we have a motion to deny the variance request.
A second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, B, approve or deny the variance request for legacy offsite drainage, request to use a shared maintenance firm for box ditch and existing detention facility. We have a motion to discuss.
Motion.
Right, would you explain this to the board and any positions you have, please? You too,
Sure.
Joseph Winston.
The legacy development is expanding box ditch, right? It's part of their master drainage plan and their mass grading. And there's an existing detention pond for League City's, I believe, the wastewater treatment plant here. And they're proposing to share a 20-foot maintenance berm with that detention pond. The design criteria currently it's gonna allow that and specifically states that if you want to use a shared maintenance firm, you gotta ask for a variance.
Scott explained, we met with Mr. Sheldon, explained where you and I were in error of what we told him. And that's why, Steve, we were in error. What I told you that.
Yeah, I did misstate. I thought that was on a case by case basis. You had to request it and, unfortunately, when I went back to look at it, it said, the variance was required. So sorry if I misled you.
No, we were both wrong. And just like on the depth of the pond, I can't remember if it's 14.9 or 15 or 16. Our recollection was we thought it was case by case. So we met with Steve and we were incorrect in that. So it went right back to being a variance request, which is probably not the strong suit of this board. So anyway, we were, yeah, it is a variance and we were incorrect. So that's why it's on here like it is.
Could I ask Joseph? a question?
Absolutely.
Joseph, is there any issues that you can say with shared burn maintenance?
No, for maintenance, well, that's no.
Yeah, any other concerns?
No, sir.
What it's worth, I mean, I've talked to Matt a little bit, the city of League City is in support of this as well. It also.
Yeah, just to be clear, the city is supportive of this. The mud would own and maintain this, and even after the mud resolves, that would go to the HOA, and the city of League City has no issues with this at all.
As part of the maintenance, as part of the agreement with the city to take through the ponds that exist today, the mud is agreeing to maintain League City's pond in addition to the box ditch, and so it's the same maintenance folks. I mean, mowing that, I believe it's once a month is the standard for League City, so. Just from a logical standpoint, it didn't seem to make sense to have 40 feet and it made sense to have a shared front.
Any questions, Jesse, on the?
So a couple things on the variance side that concerns me. Granting one variance on a situation doesn't establish precedence. However, it does, right? So my other point was, from what I read before, was there already a variance involved with this portion previously?
I believe that they, requested a variance for narrower, drainage easement width, right? Wasn't the box ditch 200 and it was granted to be 160 or?
Yeah, I think so.
Going back in time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a year or two ago when we were doing the drainage impact analysis.
Yeah, well, I voted on that. It's positive. I mean, Steve, the problem with I have this still is it's a request that we that's in the criteria manual, and it's not something. I mean, can you give an example, Joseph, of where we're sharing right of ways?
Think over here at, Sterling Creek, isn't it, Scott? Where we share the maintenance farm?
When Starling Creek Section 1 developed, they improved North Eagle Creek. The board did grant one from a 40 to a 30, where 20 foot was on private property. 20 foot was within the district's right of way, and 10 foot on private property. So they didn't grant a 20 foot. I think that was the original request. At the time that we requested to share a 20 foot, and I think they met us in the middle and let us share a 30 foot. So
Not the one that was recently.
that was 2011. Yes, I'm sorry.
The one that was recently removed, is that the same one? The back of the boat lines.
The commercial tract.
Or whatever, maybe.
Yeah,
Wasn't that berm removed in the last?
Oh, sure.
It might be reworked.
Yeah, it might have been reworked.
Can't remember.
Not after the Terrace 2 stuff.
Still.
Will this, how many situations could this occur again through the finish crossing? I'm sorry, less than that. I didn't know city. I was thinking it's not yet part of the district. How many instances could this occur again as we move forward on this side?
It's 0 2. Get it right. We could sound it.
There's more than one conversation.
Does that tie in to the improved areas now.
Yes.
So at the end where it goes to the improvements that are in place now,
I don't know that one's going.
Center Point's got a power pole.
They got it on here to be removed.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's correct.
What's the alternate
Did they call you?
for providing us with the maintenance firm if we don't share this?
Well, what'll happen is it'll end up being a 40-foot berm. And you'll tell the city of League City essentially that you don't want to share, they have to eat up 20 feet of their pond because you don't want to share. And that's kind of that's.
Well, it's not, we don't want to share, Steve. It's in the criteria manual. It's plainly written. I mean, it's not like this is something new that's come out of the blue.
I understand.
I mean, we're not making these rules that they're written down. I mean, they're written down ahead of time.
I'll make a motion then. I move that we deny the shared firm request.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. I have a motion I want to put forward to the board as a caveat for them, if they can do it.
To go on action item D.
I want to go act on, yeah,
So
sorry. Yeah.
One between.
Yeah, but,
If it's on the agenda and
You can
it's
skip.
really noticed, you can skip around if you'd
You
like.
can,
Just make sure that.
well,
for the-
let's go ahead and get the other ones. Oh, yeah, it's on D.
she says so.
you just skip the D. It's what Nate said, right?
That we're skipping to D and they'll come back to the other ones. That's fine.
Okay, I want to skip to D, if that's okay with the board. That's fine. I want to consider approving the plans for them with the caveat that the plans are updated to provide the required maintenance berm and the drainage easement prior to signing the plans, and we'll sign the plans before the next meeting. If I want to make that motion to the board, and if I can get a second and a vote on that with that caveat, and I want y'all to ask questions before y'all vote on that and make sure we're clear on that. That the motion is that, and Scott, I want to make sure that I'm framing this up right too, that we're going to approve the plans with the caveat that the plans are updated to provide the required maintenance berm and obtain the required drainage easement prior to signing them. But we can sign those.
It won't be formally approved. You're approving it, but won't be formally approved until they provide an updated plan set that has the required drainage easement across League City's property and the required maintenance firm.
I'll give a quick update on that. The easement is on the consent agenda for League City Council meeting tonight. I just haven't heard of it.
Thank you. I was going to ask you that. Jason asked that about her, and I said I didn't know.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you want me to restate the motion?
I'll second
Yeah, that's stated.
it. I'm more with that.
So all.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? It's 5-0. Okay. Okay.
Back to action item C.
Yes.
Yes.
Action item C, discussion and possible action on Stony Falls wedding venue, the final plat reviewed by WGA. Do I have a motion to discuss? Second. Scott?
Yes, the wedding venue that's about to go in down by Rancho Viejo. It's the out track. You've got some of West Ranch back here. And this is the plat that the district and the city requires before they could move forward with their development. Plans are in review, but DSC is the engineer on it, and WGA is reviewing the drainage plan as well. The city has approved it. The Mylars are here. This has been the approved. The preliminary plat was approved at the board level as well. Several months ago. 518.
Do they have the easement yet?
Yes, West Ranch has this easement here, and we are granting some more easement along here, and also where this ditch cuts the corner.
And so
The easement is being created, by this plat. This is the actual subdivision plat, so that'd be the actual document that creates that easement.
so your concerns in this letter have been satisfied.
That was for the drainage easement for Legacy offsite.
And nothing's changed from what's already been approved.
Correct. Yeah, I think the items are off on the agenda item letter to the agenda, so there might be some confusion there.
I don't know.
Anyone else? Do you have anything, Kevin? That's, yes.
Yo,
Right, all those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Who made the motion?
I'm sorry.
that's
I
the,
made the motion.
I secretly second.
Want to remake that motion?
Yeah, motion for approval. Second,
I second it.
all those in favor?
I-
Aye.
Thank you.
All those in aye. Five. Everybody go to E. Discussion and possible action, the replat of Montebello Lot 12, Block 2, final plat. It's a short form plat. Do I have a motion to discuss? Second.
This is the existing lot, Montebello. There's the commercial property that's undeveloped behind it that fronts 2351. And this happens to be a portion, right? This is the portion they're trying to plat into that piece of property. And the district actually granted a approval for that to use pump detention to that developer that was looking at doing that a year or so ago, which it kind of fell flat. Just kind of putting background to this. So more of that commercial development's going to residential here. I don't think that's bad. Right?
Don't remember, guys, this is a plat, not a drainage bill, so
Correct.
we'll get to see that.
The district's criteria manual, when there's a residential plat proposed, it's a little 30 lots or less, you can go straight to final. We do have a letter of no objection from the city of Friendswood that's still required. It is on.
Questions? For Scott?
Motion to approve.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. F, discussion and possible action on the barge and the trailer purchase. Scott, if you'd present that on what you found out to the board, please.
Sure. We've got a hold of barge work, right? We updated you that a few months ago. They're a custom barge built for our size barge that we would need, right? Not the big boy stuff you see on the intercoastal canal or up the ship channels. So that was a challenge, finding somebody that was in this niche of 40 by 14 foot barge. And we found them. They had a great price. Then we started having to go through and try to find the grapple crane with the grapple and the saw attachment. That took some time. They did find a source over in Italy. And the quote from Barge Works for $293,880 will be that complete unit. We spent how much money last year, Joseph, on the barge rental? $550,000 one sitting on that. There's also a quote here from a trailer manufacturer. Obviously, we don't have plans to trailers all over Texas, right? But we do have to get it from point A to point B. The manufacturer that we could find was down in Miami, Florida, obviously specialty trailer for marine, and 4-axle trailer, penalty hitch that'll hook up to our dump trucks rated for the ton weight. It's $53,435. So. The unique process.
You did a great job on that. We were out there.
We did try to go to boat ride.
We did.
Try to keep that local. They didn't feel comfortable, which, I respect them for telling us that.
We did. You went to boat ride. I went down to boat rides in Alvin. So we did try to keep the barge purchase in Brazoria County, basically, barely. But close to Galveston County at a local, a lot of people have those boats.
Their cash registers in Friendswood.
That's true.
So,
That's true. And a lot of people in Friendswood, Galveston County have those boats. I think a lot of them in your area have those boats, a lot of them in Lake City and Friendswood. But anyway, Boat Right passed on it. Scott did a great job finding Boat Works, and then the trailer might have been more challenging.
Yeah.
The trailer was tough, but it's gonna hook up to that hitch on the dump truck, which is rated to pull it. We looked at that again the other day. So
got the
that's
brakes on out there, air over hydraulic. That's the connection that the dump truck had. So the manufacturer of the trailer was really good. Send the details. He, looked at everything to make sure they didn't want any issues more than we did, so. Good experience. So.
I'd like to ask a question, Rusty.
Yes, sir.
So the trailers in addition to this.
Correct.
Yeah, it's on the back. It's
That's my second thing. Okay.
They're two separate.
How long are our quotes good for?
I'm sorry.
How long are the quotes good for?
Doesn't have a date on there when they go bad, but I imagine 30 to 90,
What's
If the
the,
material changes, it's probably going to change.
what's the delivery?
right.
So the trailer could be built within 4 to 6 weeks. The barge will be built in 4 to 6 weeks. The hang time on that is the grapple saw that's sourced from Italy, and it takes it'll take them about eight months to get it. Unfortunately, by the time they put it on the ship, get it out of their inventory, put it on the ship, get it over here, and all that stuff is what they're quoted. So.
Should we consider buying a spare part package? Since it's from Italy?
That's a good question.
Lead time.
I could look into that, Jim. Well, and
The one issue I have with the barge is that it can't cut the trees down to the ground level.
correct.
And I don't know if we've been able since last year to get on Harris County side and remove those stumps down to ground level or not, but we could make that part of the interlocal agreement where we'd have land access to come and do that.
Sure.
So that's a big issue I had with the barge, is just a whole bunch of sticks sticking up in the ground next to the creek.
Give me an action item when we meet with precinct 2.
Yeah.
And also,
We looked at the prune shears. Unfortunately, they're all going to have a head that's going to keep it off the ground, 1.5 to 2 foot, just the mechanism, right?
I didn't want to give up the gravel hook
Yeah.
in order to get rid of the saw
Correct.
and use a hydraulic shear.
Yeah.
The hydraulic shear would take it down the ground level.
Well, it had the same issue as the saw. It's got the head works below it from this manufacturer. So,
Might not be 3 feet, but it might be 1 foot.
yeah, it's still going to have some. It's like in, Western Louisiana, Southeast Texas, the loggers, they cut it down and you still got half a foot or so,
I'll have to introduce you to my loggers.
Yeah. Those Louisiana boys are better than the Texas boys.
They are.
Yeah.
I want to tell the public on this, so that they can read this. So there's no perfect purchase of anything. Our tractors, our dozers, our stuff. I mean, nothing's used all the time. Nothing. And y'all know I'm a pilot, you have airplanes. They're not used all the time, but if you use them a lot, you need them. It's a good tool to have. We spent $550,000 on a barge that ran up and down the creek for us for a couple of months. We had a lot of problems with it, but it did a great job. I fly over that creek all the time, and even in a small section of the creek. In my estimation, talking with Scott today, we can probably do $100,000 worth of work on the creek, barring a storm, every single year. That's foliage, that's trees down, that's normal windstorms, thunderstorms. That's not withstanding the storm. And it kind of reminds me of, it's like the COVID deal. You get a respirator, no problem. COVID happens, you can't find one. If we have a storm, we're going to be in the queue for a barge forever. By the time we get one, it's going to be, it's going to be 8 months down the road before we can get one. We'll be in line. This will be a tool we'll use every year. It'll probably take 4 or 5 years to maybe not that long. It's probably 3 or 4 years to pay for stuff. Unless we have a storm, it'll pay for itself right off the bat. It'll be instantaneous. Now, that's notwithstanding the IDRT study that we have coming up next month. If we go ahead with that study and they do find through their advanced LiDAR process, which, and this barge website, we'll have sonar and stuff, we'll have a grappler, we'll have a catch basin. It's a legit tool for the district. If we do find a bunch of obstructions in Clear Creek, which I think we will, we'll be able to get those. We'll be able to locate them and pick them with this barge. I think we're gonna be picking many refrigerators, propane bottles and stuff out of that creek that we're gonna find through this study if we approve it. And that barge will be invaluable in that. So that's an addition to it. I think, the questions are good. It's still 8 months to get here. I think we should have some extra parts, Jim, no doubt, just like with anything we have. And, I think we'll use it yearly, probably 3 or 4 months a year, I'm guessing. Unless we have a storm, and then I think it'll be invaluable. And we might even share it then with other people. But I'm not trying to justify the barge purchase to the board of the IDRT work. That'd be gravy if there was obstructions to get that we could get. Scott and I've talked about it a bunch, and a storm would make it well worth it. But I'm not trying to say we'd lease it out too. But of course, I'm sure we have a lot of inquiries about a barge if we had a storm. But in all honesty, we probably use it.
Other districts around to be asking questions and wanting to be able to use it too. Yeah.
You have to be able to get it in. I mean, we have a good section of creek to use it on. I have seen precinct to their barge or whatever it is, Adrian Garcia's side. I saw them about a month ago. I told Joseph on their side of the creek with a barge. Never seen that before, but I did see it right across from Whitcomb.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it.
I like the idea. I think it gives us control over hitting some hot spots after a low storm, big thunderstorm, whatever. Also, I always wanted to be in the rental business. I've always been on the rent side, being on the rental side. I think they'll pay for itself in a few years. I'm just sorry that 8 months, that's a long time. We're in November here, that's like after the next season. So
It'll be close.
Yeah. Might have it part of that next season. If we're lucky.
Yeah.
have you satisfied yourself with the quality of this saw and how big a saw is it? How big a blade is it?
36.
I guess I could look at the quote.
Okay. I don't see it on here.
It's 500 millimeters. Steve,
Well,
come on.
While he converts it, in the expression, it's better to have something and not need it than to need it and not have it, but we already need it.
Yeah.
How much we'll need it, we're going to find out over time, but we know we will get more storms. And we had a windstorm this year before we even hit storm season, so. And Rusty really wants his propane bottles.
How big a
Yeah.
tree
So,
in the refrigerator?
And the refrigerator.
How big a trees can this thing cut?
Well, the bar is 20 inch, you said?
Okay, so it's,
That's the maximum cutting diameter. So
So
minimum is 100.
what do you do with the stubs after you just get a stub grinder in there, right?
Yeah.
Or you get a bolter or something, right?
Put a guy on the creek and cut it down with the handsaw after the trees out of the way. Throw it up on the barge or something like that.
but like if it's on the Harris County side and they grant us permission, we've got a skidster back there with the hydro mulch head on it.
There
so
you go.
we could just run through them,
There you go.
take them down to the ground.
I think that's work for the new county commissioner if we can negotiate that deal. I think
it's this.
I know.
I think the new county commissioner can help us negotiate that deal.
Robin Armstrong or?
He doesn't touch Harris County. You do.
Anyway, okay. Any other questions about? I think Jenna's a good question. I mean, that was our problem 8 years ago is we did a good job, but we need to get over the stride. Probably that's something, Joseph, that we do need to talk to them about and get that worked out. It doesn't make any sense to do all this great work and not finish the job. It does help. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're getting, like Scott said, we're getting a bunch of stuff that's going to be natural foliage is laying over in the creek and stuff. It's going to help us with that because we can't access that stuff always.
But you gotta be able to protect your investment.
I keep it running.
Pretty good? Other questions? All those in favor of the purchase?
Who makes the?
I'll make a motion to approve the barge and the trailer purchase.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I ask a retro question? If it takes 8 months to get the saw and mess, does that mean that this quote's still good, even though it's gonna take 8 months?
I think once we engage it, yeah, I think
I'm imagine that through. I mean,
If not,
They're gonna require 50% down, so-
Oh, the bulk
You should lock in once both sides sign an agreement, which
I'm sorry,
yes, the price should be set once both sides agree to it. They've offered, we've accepted. So
unless they had a writer in there, right, that said that.
We're dealing with this barge, right? They're buying the equipment from them.
Right. We're dealing with them for the barge itself, and then AAA at Miami for the trailer directly. So we'll have to get the trailer up there to the barge. That price is supposed to include delivery to us, but we won't have to go over there and pull back. Thank God.
Think about that. Who's making that road trip together?
Ms. Kim said she's gonna drive the dump
very
truck.
good.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun.
Pull it back.
All right, G, discussion and possible action, the modification of the fee schedule to include a $500 fee for variance requests. This includes 2 reviews. Additional reviews thereafter will incur a 500 fee each. I hear a motion to discuss.
Question.
So Scott, we talked about this a little bit and then I have questions on it. So we've, no offense, but we've had a lot of, Scott had a pretty good sized bill this month and he's done a great job, but we've had a lot of requests for variance this last month or two. I think it just comes with the territory of new development. So I think this is a very fair, just to kind of get the district back to flat financially on paying our district engineer to review this stuff for us.
is it open-ended right now?
But there's no,
They can ask 5 or 6.
there's no fee for a
There's no
variance
fee
request.
for variance.
So you get your first 2.
Correct. That's how the, your plat and plan, submittal, the review fee works is that review fee covers 2 preliminary reviews and 2 final. If you go to 3 preliminary reviews, it's $700 per submittal. After you get through that, you still have your 2 finals. You get past that, then it's $700 per. But so it's going to be $500 initial fee. If you get past 2 reviews on the variance, then it'll go back to that $700 per. So it'll actually be more than the original. I don't think I've ever had a variance request go past 2 reviews. Not saying it won't happen. But
Getting there. Question?
It's pretty straightforward.
Make a motion to approve.
Thanks. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Discussion H, discussion and possible action, staff and the district engineer will approve or deny preliminary extension request on plats and plans moving forward. So noting that a single 6-month extension may be granted per the district's design criteria. Is everybody clear on that? So it's
Yes.
okay. Motion discussed.
So moved.
Questions on that?
Do you want to explain why the purpose of going to the consent on some of the stuff as part of that?
Yeah, I mean, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move these extensions. We're gonna let Scott, since he's doing preliminary plans anyway, we're gonna let him do the preliminary extension request
Right.
also. And we're also gonna move those to the consent agenda unless there's an objection here, which y'all can always pull anything you like off the consent agenda, just so we don't have to approve a bunch of, since we're not doing preliminary plans anyway.
No, I think that's a good move.
That's the first time we experienced it since we moved to staff level preliminary plan approval. So, we're working through that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my fault.
No.
I should have seen that. I should have included in that prior motion a few months back that for the extensions too, because you did the right thing by putting them on there, and the board should rule on that because y'all have the right to keep it as it is or move the consent, and y'all always, we can always pull it off.
The only question I have is, should we include final approval extensions also?
I don't think so.
The final is approved by the board, Jim. So, right now, the way the criteria manual is written is that you can request a one-time extension for a preliminary or final plan up to good 6 months, I'm sorry. So preliminary plans and flats are approved when you approve them for 6 months, right? So you could do a one-time extension for 6 months on that. The finals are good for a year if you do not begin construction. And you could also request a one-time extension of 6 months on that as well. So the board approve the final would probably be, it's up to you. You know, if you wanted to say that the staff could grant the extension for finals, that would, that's totally up to you too.
It's minutia. It's not.
What do you think about that? So on the finals, we get in trouble on that ever. Can you think of a situation where we get in trouble on that? Because it's a year, it's good for a year when we do it, and then they can go for a 6 month extension.
If we miss something important the first go around, have an opportunity to get it. We don't have the option to change what's in the final plan, just the option to extend it for 6 months.
Is there an option to
I
decline?
don't see.
Well, yeah,
I don't see
you're
it.
requesting.
Well, it'll be on the consent agenda anyway.
Then you can pull it.
And you can pull it off.
Right. I mean, right. I mean, it's on the consent anyway, so we could always pull it off.
Correct.
Consent.
Sounds good. Any second thing with bills, right?
Once you modify, Jim, the motion, how you want it to read then?
Would like to make a motion that we approve direct engineering staff approve the preliminary extension request and on plats and plans and approve extension on the final plat and plans.
By the district engineer also.
A second your motion.
All those in favor? Aye. Good job. Good work. I think that's good. Okay. Very good. The consent agenda, anybody have any items that they put off the consent agenda? Minutes, problems, anything?
Motion to approve.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, operations manager, Joseph.
I've been gone for a while. I've had a total knee replacement, so I'm catching up now, but I did get with the guys this afternoon, and the recent rain that they had last week and stuff rained them out, so they're gonna start back up to work tomorrow. But they're working on Cards Creek and Baker Road, doing bank repairs. Lundy Ditch out here, they're doing some bank repairs. And then off of Cherry Tree Lane, Chapel Hill, we had some inline detention that we did shelving years ago. And so they're coming and digging that back down to elevation and filling in wet spots. And the mowing crew's been staying busy mowing. And so that's about it. Unless you'll have, I don't have a lot to report because I haven't been here. I'm sorry.
Glad you're doing that.
Thank you.
Very good.
Glad to see you back.
Thank you.
Writing 8, administrative managers report. Samantha?
Kathy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, Kathy, you're right. My bad.
Okay, we need to set up a meeting for the fourth quarter investment meeting sometime. And, Carl Haruki was a board member for 20 years and, just want to let you know that he passed away.
Those services this Saturday or next?
This Saturday. And so, sorry to hear that. Condolences to his family. His wife called me this week. And that's all I have to say.
Kathy's been pulling double duty around here. She's been trying to do part of Joseph's job too. So thank you, Kathy, for doing that.
That's one thing I want to acknowledge all of y'all and the guys in the back. And I told the guys today, thanks for doing such a great job while I've been out. y'all done a great job.
Well, trust me, we need you back. So we need you back. Trust me, we do. But yeah, they've done good. Kathy, I appreciate all your stuff.
And since our last meeting, Kathy had her 30th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, and I want to thank the board members for the pretty flowers. Thank you.
I don't know. I didn't know about them, so I can't take credit for it. But you will. Kim probably did it. Did you know about it, Jim? Honestly, did you know about it? I'm saying if we're honest. I mean,
We came up Sunday and put them in there, and you're on the card.
thank you. We appreciate it. All right, the district engineer's report, Scott.
Sure. Short and sweet. So we had 7 preliminary plans ready to be signed, and Justin and I signed 3 of them today. We're still missing 3 or 4 sets that need to be delivered. So hopefully they'll deliver them before the next time around, or both of us are in here creating trouble. A quick report summary of the month of October. There was over 37 reviews and 15 meetings for me. Just to kind of keep y'all up to pace on what I was up to. Other than that, it doesn't include the barge coordination either. So, pretty fun. Enjoyed it. We're expecting that out. Working through that. So
Scott's
It's
always,
such a guiding.
yeah, he likes it.
folks too.
He likes it. But he's done a good job also filling in some of Joseph's shoes on talking to all of us. I know he has. At least he's talked to me, to Samantha and I a bunch. Appreciate it. Thanks, Scott. Yeah. Samantha, now you're up.
Yeah, so my report hasn't changed too much from last time. We're still working on a lot of those same things. On the 19th, we have a planning meeting for disaster recovery with FEMA here at the district. It's 9 to 12. So Kathy and I have been working on getting prepared for that. I'm really glad we were able to move it. It was originally on the 14th so that Joseph can be back. Joseph's like, oh man. I also would like to thank Scott for there were so many emails going back and forth and reviews. Thank you for helping me with the first time I ever did the agenda. That was kind of an overwhelming agenda to do for the first time.
We had some small agendas on the plan review side the past couple months, and of course the one she has to. Got a ton of them on it.
Yeah, and then now that we got that agenda behind us, Kathy and I are going to be really focusing on putting together our first ever newsletter. So we've been brainstorming a lot on that, and next meeting we hope to bring a quote to the board so that we can take action on that and get moving at the beginning of the new year.
Yes. No questions for Samantha? Hope you feel better. Samantha's had the flu, so.
Yeah,
There.
it's been fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Samantha. I appreciate
I
it.
do have a request of Samantha, and I guess you, Rusty, put on agenda for next time. We've been trying for 4 to 6 months to get Clearview, Deepwood interlocal agreement to the board for approval or rejection. And we're pretty hard right at the week after the last meeting, trying to understand and get all the parties involved to agree to that. And I thought that everything was agreed to, but it's still not on the agenda. So what I would,
Sorry, since that's not on the agenda for tonight, we can absolutely place it on the next agenda, but let's not.
Can I finish?
Yes.
and so what I'd like to do is either the next meeting have on the agenda for board approval or an item to discuss the issues associated with it. Now, go ahead.
Wonderful job. I was worried that you were gonna get too far into the detail. And since it's not on the agenda, I just wanted to make sure that we stayed on the agenda.
Yeah, I'll talk about that a little more in my board comments too. City of Friendsville reports, City Council Liaison Robert, he texted me, said he wasn't gonna be here. City Engineer, Bill's not here. P and Z, so City of League City, Matt, you are up.
I'd like to keep you guys apprised of the Westland Ranch development, regarding their east-west arterial there, Muldoon Parkway. We just, accepted their, final extension to their property boundary, their phase 4 extension of Muldoon Parkway. And then shortly, I think it's more so a documentation holdup now, but sections 8 and 9 are adjacent to that roadway. That those sections will be accepted here in a day or two, I'd say. And then I imagine on the north portion of that development, section 10 will be shortly following. Southern portion, we've got Magnolia Bayou Drive, which is the north-south kind of collector there that eventually connects to 517. That roadway is all but complete. The only thing that's pending is the TxDOT portion of that roadway. So considering this, I've got a walk or inspection scheduled tomorrow actually to inspect what they have done to this point. And with the hopes that, you know, once that punch list is achieved, the adjacent section, which is sections 6A and 6B is what we're calling it, but it's directly adjacent to Magnolia Bayou. That section will start tying in its utilities and it'll shortly be accepted and you know, moving forward. But that's kind of in a nutshell, Westland Ranch and its progression at this time. Legacy, I'd like to keep you guys apprised of that as well. They're still excavating the ponds in the form of their rough cut kind of project. They have been authorized to get going on a handful of projects. Legacy Boulevard, Legacy Drive and West Boulevard, both of those roadways, we've had pre-construction meetings for those. We've had pre-construction meetings for their first 2 sections. And, you know, they're aggressively kind of moving forward with a handful of other projects for that development. So that project, you'll see lots of progression on that. But I think that's all I got for you guys today, unless you got any questions or concerns with me.
Hey, did you get with your boss about what Scott asked you about getting ahead of the curve on TxDOT with 99 out there? And I know we had some about is Chris on that?
Yeah.
I know they asked, hey, I saw that correspondence and Scott was like, yeah, I think I'd get on that now.
Yeah, last time I talked with him, he was in agreement with that. And, you know, I think y'all share the same opinion on that. They want to be proactive.
Did you talk to him more about that or no? Is that it?
To TxDOT, yeah, that after, you know, we had the meetings, the strategic planning and all that, yeah, TxDOT reached out to us and kind of gave us a lowdown. They have one line diagrams, basically. They don't have anything to share. So the process is they're about to go out, request for proposals, I guess, or qualifications. The selected contractor is going to be design build. So once they get to that next year, then they'll be able to share more detailed plans. But talk about our concerns, and they talked about a crossing, whether we want that open or closed. I talked to Joseph about it. We felt like it would be better to be closed instead of having one of our facilities run underneath 99. I don't think we want to have to deal with TxDOT every time we need to do something. That'll be a dogfight. They're going to think it's their right of way, even though they took it across our facility originally. It's just be a challenge. So we have had some movement on there. They have reached out to the district, thankfully.
Yes, sir, Matt.
And just wanted to notify you guys, I just got a text a few moments ago here that easement passed on the consent agenda tonight. So just to keep you guys apprised of that.
Let's stay on that with Scott here. Like we said. Is that cool, Steve?
100%.
We're good. Any questions from Matt?
I got one, trustee, Matt,
Newsflash. Newsflash.
there was an issue about like a substation or a switch where they were over on our on our easement,
Drain right away.
was it a transformer or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did they ever respond to that?
So, oh, well,
I can answer that. That actually just came up a second ago. Part of that box ditch extension, that work is back too. It's encroachment by about, I don't know, 2 feet or so of a transformer pad. We're just gonna cut out the pad out of your easement.
Is it 2 feet, Steve? Are you sure?
I thought it was more than that.
I think it's not a very big.
Where the pad already is.
Yep.
I thought it was like 8 or 9.
Yeah. You're right, 104 feet, something like that. I have to go back and look. So we hadn't looked at it in detail since we denied the variance. For it to encroach in the district, right away for the ditch.
I can show you that again, Sam.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll talk about that. All right, very good. Thanks, Matt. Board of Directors report, Mr. Gibson.
Attended a field meeting on FM 1959 project today. And I've been taking pictures because the excavation area is getting so large that you really can't tell anything from the picture. Basically, it looks like previous ones, except just bigger. They think that they're roughly 60% complete. They're moving 3,000 cubic yards of dirt a day. That's quite a bit of dirt. With the rain and holidays, they're forecasting May completion on the rough grading. And they're doing about 2% per week removal. So they're doing about 5 to 6% per month. Last month I said it's 50%, this month 60%. But they had a 5-week lapse and they had some extra moving equipment that they got going. The commissioners court approved the design engineer for the balance of the project today. And the contractor that's doing the excavation work is going to continue with the entire project. So there won't be any eruption with contractors moving in and out. That's a good one. No more artifacts, no more quicksand, no more wetlands. Everything seems to be going. That's all I have.
David?
I don't really have anything to update on. I guess I'm just a little frustrated about how slow this whole thing goes. I pretty much put everything all together in about 6 days. Wish we could do that. I ask for his help all the time, frequently. I feel like we're a little bit behind. You know, we found out some time ago that Joseph, that the board under Mr. Whitaker had given money to Texas and Galveston to continue the Ike work. And I just feel like we're behind. I'm frustrated because even though we have what looks like if we pass it, we'd make a deal with IDRT, we're going to get a lot of information, but these things just take time, and it's just very frustrating. However, I will say this, that in looking at the past, I'm also over, God bless you, I'm all over doing projects where we have a measurable amount of return on our investment, not an inch, not a foot. I was jokingly going to ask Scott, when do we get the dredge attachment to that barn, and so anyway, I think that over the past, there's been a lot of busy work. I'm not sure it was all thought out. I'm not sure it was really measured about what the real return on it was for drainage. But I think we've rededicated ourselves to not spend any money on stuff unless we can prove that there's a benefit. And unfortunately, by the time you discover that information and digest the results, and it just takes forever. But I'm proud of the effort that we're taking, thinking outside the box on several levels. And I just want to encourage our voters, the public, to be patient that we're behind. We're 7 years behind. And we're trying like hell to catch up. So that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Kim?
I don't have much to report. I just want to say, God bless the USA.
I'll keep it sweet and short. I'm a lot like David. The industry I come from, the way I grew up, later, no. Tomorrow, no. Today, no. It's always to now. It's always an immediate fix. And so it's an adjustment to get to this kind of speed. But I will say, the other elected official in this room is Shane Dewey. Congratulations. Congratulations to everyone that won, and everyone who fought hard. It's time to get to work. It's time to get to work with our friends in Dickinson, our friends in Pearland, Friendswood, League City, anywhere and everywhere we can find a friend. Because the only way we can get this done is together. I was speaking with someone the other night, and the point was really interesting. I said, hey, we're looking to do this, we're looking to do that. The first thing the person said was, you drainage people need to stop fighting each other. Made a circle. Stop fighting each other and start working together. And I was like, you're speaking my language. You know, and that's what we need to do. And on that note, we're busy. I'm going to meetings with her. He's going to meetings with him. I'm going to meetings with him. They're going to meetings together. He's got his meetings. They're splitting time on meetings, and we want to do more. And that's what we will be doing. That sense of urgency cannot be deterred. So know that we're doing it. We're working hard, and Hank's going to help out. I'm done, Mr. President.
So Jim, on Clearview, Deepwood, and Frenchman's Creek, I'll take the bullet for that one too. So I've instructed Paige and Samantha to make sure that those interlocals are in the best interests of, since it's not a big hurry with studying anyway, that make sure they're watertight and they're in the best interest of us. I am interested in just totally the district taking over that property. If we can do so. I was told Paige, I would like to have control of that property from study.
Shush one, I'm gonna shush all. That's off the topic.
Well, this is my board director report. So anyway, I have been the one driving that freaking train. So I'll take it. We'll get to projects. Like David said, we're gonna get to these projects when we get to them. I promise you, when we get to them, we'll get to them correctly, and we'll make sure there's a cost benefit analysis to it. That makes sense. And it probably won't be an inch. It'll be something substantial. We are going to keep our powder dry and do things that work. Or we'll wait. And I hate to say that, but we will operate the district, and we are moving towards professionalism and modernization. I've said that a million times. We are moving towards operating the district. I need Turbo Joseph back. We want to have every blade of the grass. I talked to Brendan the other day. He won DD for us. Congratulations to him. But we want to have every dirt packed down, every creek and tributary and ditch flowing, every blade of grass cut, and every branch out of the creek. And that's the honest to God truth. And that it takes a lot of work to do that. And we want to continue with our contractors and our employees to make sure that the district is running at peak performance always. That's our job. Outside of that, we need to identify and look for projects that make sense for the people with y'all's money. So we will do so. We have made very good relationships with the Army Corps, and they did tell us, David, that if we could prove silting levels, that we have a better chance of fitting in one of their boxes for matched grant money. Joseph was at that meeting, to do something on the creek that they've never let us do before. That came straight out of McCracken's mouth. I can't remember her full name.
Lisa,
Lisa McCracken, something,
Lisa Mears.
Yeah. Long name. I got two of them right. So anyway, it came right out of her mouth, along with, they understand we have a northern water flow problem coming down the creek, and they get it. So I've been talking to DD4 about this also. I think Pearland and DD4, at least on camera, they're frustrated with this because they feel like they can't move the water from the project, the core money we've lost years and years ago that they took up there. They feel like they're pigeonholed. Well, we feel the same way down here. We want to move it also. So we're working on that. We have good relations with Trent Epperson and Kevin Cole and Pearland. I actually my wife was burning my ears up at lunch today, and actually, like magic, Mays Middleton called me while I was working in the hangar about some issues, and we talked about League City and moving down south towards through there because he's stronger down there than I am. Asked for his help down there in League City. So, and Hank, you can help me down there too. I hope you're a regular here because we need help with all of our partners. So we are moving along, but I will tell you, we will spend money when it's appropriate to spend it. And until then, Joseph will make sure that the district's operating at peak performance. And again, thanks to the board for the modifications tonight on things that made sense. I don't want to miss anything, so that's maybe why I'm so deliberate, but I appreciate Scott's work. Scott's working very hard on the barge, on justifying it, on the saw, the catch basin. There's a lot to it on pulling it, how to launch it, what we're going to do. There's more to come on that, so I appreciate that. And like I said, Joseph, we need you back, so get well quick. And with that, we are going to move to executive session. The board and the director will convene to close meeting pursuant to Texas Government Code 551-074 for personnel matters. And we will reconvene at open meeting after that.
Sorry, it's got to be lips.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See you, man.
Good job, thank you.
Now they got me weights from last week.
Are you? Good, how are you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Walked in.
Yeah,
Right now, Big Jim.
Is
I
live.
can relate.
yeah, yeah, there you go.
Jim's getting cookies, man.
What's the language for that?
I know, city council talked to Dawn from.
No.
Yeah.
But if I told you, if I told you, she would eat them before she.
He gave us.
Reconvene in the open session. Open session. I'm gonna make a motion to hire a in-house legal counsel and office administrator for the Galveston County Consolidated Drainage District, position that will take effect the first week of January upon the hiring.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Show the vote 5-0. And with that, I will make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank y'all guys.
The ayes have it.
Thank you, Rusty.